Welcome to Procurement Says No, episode 35, Ed.
Oh, crikey. I was thinking about this the other day. We're going to be at 50 soon, aren't we? 50 episodes.
And at 50 we stop. We are on Spotify, we are on Amazon Music, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Facebook, we're on X, formerly known as Twitter, all the other way around. And of course, we're on the Alchemy Network, and we're on TikTok, which we said we'd never do. And you can buy a t-shirt from us on eBay, and we've got a website, and we've got a blog. Subscribe today.
We've got everything, listener.
All of the things.
We're just not on Truth Social.
All of the things. And today we have another one of our special super duper episodes because we have a special guest star, and not the normal sort of guest star. Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no. It's Aude Firmin, who is an intuitive leadership coach, Reiki master, psychic medium, and business strategist. Yes, on episode 35, we're going all universal life force energy, and we're promoting physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Now, that's a thing that I thought I'd never say. But first, in the news, brought to you by SIPS.
Hey!
Hello, I'm Ben Farrell from SIPS, and here's the news.
Here's the first news story: how Starbucks is using AI to enhance supply chain visibility. And this is from Aaron McMillan in Procurement Magazine Online. Starbucks, this is just a big advertorial, this.
Yes.
Starbucks is deploying Nomad Go's inventory AI in more than 11,000 locations across North America. The deployment is designed to deliver swifter inventory counting with remarkable 99% efficiency.
What? They're counting coffee beans.
Possibly. The integration of real-time data with augmented reality means that Starbucks employees can now instantly process inventory data in real time. Nomad's innovative technology, spatial vision, merges on-device 3D spatial intelligence with computer vision and augmented reality for enhanced data capture and process. What does this mean, Ed?
I'll tell you what it means. I've got it, right? So you put the virtual reality goggle headset on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're massive, like massive ski masks. And then you visualize the sacks of beans in the storeroom at the back. So you could just walk through the door into the storeroom, open the door and go, oh yeah, 10 stacks left. That'll last us 3 days. Shut the door. You don't need to now. You stay in your barista spot and you see in your virtual reality headset 10 bags of coffee.
And you can also play Snake on it.
Just wait for the health and safety issues when somebody's looking through their virtual reality headset and they get steamed.
Oh yeah, steam in your virtual reality headset's not a good thing, is it?
Excellent. Well done, Starbucks.
Anyway, Deb Hall-Lefevre, the Chief Technology Officer at Starbucks, says technology isn't about bells and whistles, it's about creating meaningful efficiencies that preserve and strengthen craft and connection.
Crikey.
What? So don't get steam in your reality helmet.
Is it a helmet? That would be even better. Massive helmet.
Oh my God, put away your reality helmet. More news. Post-award contract management leaves much to be desired at many local authorities in the UK, research finds. And this is from local government lawyer who say the quality of drafting key performance indicators and performance management of many public sector contracts is highly variable and may lead to significant loss of value to the public sector, says new research from local government lawyer and Trowers and Hamlins. No shit, Sherlock.
Interesting.
The survey of 62 procurement professionals and lawyers, another one of these highly significant samples, found that many public authorities are not using KPIs and other contract management tools available to them as much as they might. Well, there you are.
Tell us something we don't know.
Many agreements fail to deliver their promised value to the public purse due to the lack of monitoring and maintenance, says the survey. Despite this, the survey found that 70% of authorities surveyed seldom or never keep auditable evidence on the performance of KPIs.
So just being fair to public sector procurement teams for a moment, I've worked with some, seen inside some as you have, Rich, and they are absolutely maxed out generally, I think. There's just so much, because there's so much procedure,
So much crap, yeah.
so much process to follow, so much work to do, limited resources, as we know, or as we'd expect in the public sector. They're just chasing their tails all the time, running the next public tender.
We're on the next tender, yeah. Here's the next one coming up.
Yeah, and they don't have time to engage with suppliers and measure KPIs or anything else for that matter.
Contract management in public sector organisations is poor, said one respondent.
It's not good in most companies. It's not just public sector issue, is it?
No. And just 14% of respondent authorities said that they had a dedicated contract management team. Only 13% of contracting authorities have a formal procedure to review the successes or failures of previous contracts. And only 12% of contracting authorities ask their supply chain on feedback on how they perform as a client. So, who knew?
You could go back 30 years and say exactly the same thing, couldn't you?
Yeah, across everywhere, yeah. Private and public sector.
Tell us what we don't know, So in other news, suddenly in the UK, massive cyber attack on Jaguar Land Rover.
Yes.
Which has stopped their lines. And as we speak, in sort of mid-September, their lines continue to be down and will be down into next week. So they've stopped all manufacturing. Makes you wonder, really, doesn't it? How the hell has a hacker got inside and stopped everything?
Yeah, they say that they haven't lost a lot of data, and M&S still haven't recovered from their attack either. And there was another one as well, wasn't there?
Big sophisticated organisations. There's cyber protection companies out there at military grade, and they have people to protect national assets. So why aren't these companies putting in the appropriate cyber protection? And we have talked about the importance of cyber insurance.
Yes.
Where cyber insurance is something that quite a lot of vendors now have. So at least you get some level of compensation for ingress via a third party, which is how it sometimes comes in.
Yeah.
The hacker finds the weakest link into your system, and because everybody's integrated, particularly in automotive. But why are they not protecting their systems adequately?
Yes. Well, they would say they are, I presume. But yeah. But a 15-year-old sitting in Stoke has managed to get in.
Exactly. So, it's not going to be the last either, is it?
No, indeed. How much is cyber insurance, Ed? And what's the excess?
How much cover do you need, sir?
All of the cover, please.
All of the cover. Is it 5 million or 10 million?
I think we'll go for 350 billion.
Excellent. And then I was just mulling this over. We've talked a lot about tariffs and all that sort of stuff, and the world has settled down a little bit. Inflation in the US has gone up marginally. Job creation is very, very low at the moment. Interest rates are probably going to come down in the US by 0.25%, they think, having a little bit of a knock-on effect within the US economy. But again, 2.6% inflation.
Yeah, everything's just sort of drifting along, aren't they? Yeah, the whole world is just drifting along at the moment.
I think so. So I think certainly for the US consumer and stuff and the US buyer, the jury's still out on whether it's working or not. Not as a profound an impact as suggested. Anyway.
One last piece of news. This is another bit of news from consultancy.uk about the UK government's AI tender through CCS titled "Government Must Not Put the Cart Before the Horse" with the new £18 billion AI IT services tender. But it just waffles on about the Procurement Act 2023 and the critical change in tender evaluation, which is the replacement of the most economically advantaged tender, or MEAT criteria, with the new criteria MAT, the most advantageous tender. MEAT becomes MAT. Brilliant.
Meaty Matt. Oh, it's Matty Meat.
And then it goes on about the National Audit Office and the Public Accounts Committee reports, which highlight critical shortcomings in skills and preparedness of all things procurement in government. But we don't want to hear about that, and I'm sure it'll all go swimmingly.
Well, why, if you're such a big organisation as the public sector in the UK, and you're going to spend 18 billion, why would you contract that out to build that for you?
Through one massive framework.
Wouldn't they develop that in-house with third-party support? If they've got a big AI thing they're thinking about doing in some shape or form for their whole business, rather than, I'll just give it all to somebody else to do.
This thing has got such massive scope. I presume it's just everything that the government wants to do in the next 15 years or something. It's just like trying to put it all into one scope. It's just bonkers. It's classic, isn't it? Like,
it won't happen, will it?
Break it all down. You need to break it all down. You can't try to tender everything in one go. That's just mad.
Will those vendors still be about?
It's insane.
You need to be nimble, don't you?
You do. Now, Ed, it's time, once again, to introduce a super duper duper special guest star. Who have we got this time?
Listeners, today we have Aude Firmin, and she's a departure from our normal guest.
Hi, Ed. Hi, Richard. Thank you so much for having me in your podcast.
Hello, Aude.
Let's just introduce Aude. So, in an era defined by burnout and overwork, Aude Firmin is leading a paradigm shift in the business world. As a spiritual business coach, Reiki master teacher, and psychic medium, she's proving that authentic success is rooted in alignment, intuition, and spiritual connection rather than just strategy and results. And in her words, who's redefining what it means to lead in the modern world. Aude is working with business leaders and organizations using non-typical methods to help them operate more intuitively. Think about how intuition and what we feel, what we think should be utilized in terms of helping our decision making. By way of background, is in digital marketing and IT product management, like Microsoft, like Trainline, like Gucci, Publicis, New Look, Clark's, the shoe retailer. She's come from this background of technology, and then she's moved into the world of sort of fluffy bunnies from our perspective.
We all love fluffy bunnies.
It just seems such an interesting correlation between that world of fluffy bunnies and intuition and hard business action and the development of strategy and thinking around your strategy and the way that you drive your business forward.
No, I love the intro about the fluffy bunnies. And, the fluffy bunnies makes an incredible impact in the world of corporate. We've been told like fluffy bunnies, Halloween, talking to the dead, etc. But actually, it is who we are. And I will go in more details later. But Richard, I'm sure you have something to say.
I have to say, my old FD at my old company was like talking to the dead.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get the first most important question out of the way, Aude, which is, what do psychic mediums do on a day-to-day basis other than routinely contacting the dead? And who's been on the blower from the underworld this week?
Yes. Well, psychic mediums, they do indeed talk to the dead. But when we think about it in Asia and maybe a bit before in the Western world, it was totally normal to be in contact with our ancestors. And we have a body, we have a spirit, and when we die, we just don't have a body anymore. So when people come and see a psychic medium, they come to talk to their past loved ones. But very interestingly as well, they come to, for example, download their channel, their business strategy. You will not think about it. So I work with pop stars, with billionaires, with entrepreneurs who come to me to download their strategy, and they're very happy with it because they come back every week or every other week. So that's something we wouldn't think about, and that's something I've integrated within corporates and the entrepreneurial world.
Mm-hmm. How is it that you've found your place in this domain, given your background with Microsoft and Stagecoach and Clark's and all that in terms of this sort of IT world? So what brought you to this point? What's your career background that got you where you are now?
Yeah, so by the way, I really believe that everyone is psychic. Since I've created this company, my holistic company, less than 2 years ago, I've had 900 clients all over the world. And all of them have had their psychic abilities tested, and all of them are psychic. Even like, let's say, men who have never been in contact openly with their intuition or consciously. But yes, what led me to this? A series of events, for example, the death of my dad in 2009. And 3 years later, I had a massive psychic awakening. So you could look at the Halloween movies with lots of paranormal activities, which at the beginning I was like very skeptical about. I was like you guys, I was like, leave me alone. I just want to go back to my corporate work. I don't need to be in contact with the dead or bloody spirits. But anyway, life took me there. I started to train as a psychic medium at the College of Psychic Studies. I'm a teacher there. It's the biggest college of psychic studies in the world. It's a bit like Harry Potter's, but they've been training mediums since 300 years. And energy, I kept having, like this burnout and this anxiety in technology. So I looked for all the methods I could use to help me. So I did meditation, yoga, etc. But the method that really helped me was Reiki, which is being able to channel the life force energy to rebalance ourselves and to boost our immune system. And it is a technique that is used by NHS for cancer recovery from patients. So it's not hoo fluffy bunny. It is actually remembering. But I love the analogy, and I'm the first one of making jokes about it. It is remembering who we are, energetic beings. And actually, it's when we don't take care of our energy that things go wrong.
And how does that actually sort of come about when you transfer of energy? Sounds like lyrics by John Anderson from Yes. The transfer of energy through your body, or through your hands, or what?
I know. It looks weird. When I heard about this in 2016, I was like, "What is this? It's another magical pill. It's so weird. Or is it dangerous?" When you look at the superhero movies and they channel energy through their hands.
Yeah.
Well, Reiki has the same thing. That's the same thing. So, for example, just before this podcast recording, I was channeling Reiki to a pregnant woman in south of France. So right now I'm in Paris, and she could feel some relaxation, etc. So it is the ability to, again, like superheroes movies, to channel the energy, but that seems so incredibly impossible until you experience it. So I'm always saying, just experience it and you will see. Last year at the London Business Show, which is like the biggest business show in the world, I was represented at a stand, and I did psychic and Reiki over 600 people over a weekend. So 600 people experienced psychic and Reiki in the corporate world, and they all were blow-minded because it is something unusual. But once you open the door, then you remember that who we are and what are our capacities. I love your cats.
Oh no, a black cat has just appeared on Ed's desk. Surely a sign.
I love it.
It is literally, as soon as Aude started to ask one of your more serious questions, he turned up.
Yes, he must feel the good energy. But like cats, babies, dogs, they feel the energy, they see spirits as well. So it's just, and when you were younger, Richard and Ed, maybe you had these experiences where you felt things, okay? And just society told us, oh, it's your imagination, don't go there.
Procurement teams have said that to me quite often. I see the dead. And I just say, no, that's the accounts department.
And psychic mediumship is not, it doesn't have to be dark. It is something really beautiful. And I know it's going to look weird, but I'm closer to my dad in spirit than I was in the living world. And when spirit just passed away, they send us messages like dreams, like little notes to tell us, hey, I'm fine, because they are all around us. And I guess because I've been in this sector for quite a while now, I've had so many proofs that I can't doubt anymore. But I always encourage people to be skeptical, to be cynical, until, they see like, okay, it is what it is. We are like this. And maybe it's just something that society has forgotten for a while.
I think some of the debate we've had is that in some respects, it doesn't matter whether it's real or not, because it's about the outcome of what you're trying to achieve. So if you're thinking about how do I help a business leader reach more fully into their personal intuition about what they should do, and intuition is based on, for many people, 20, 30, 40 years worth of a business experience. Generally, what your gut tells you is probably the right thing to do. Therefore, it doesn't really matter whether they really truly believe it. It's whether there's an outcome.
Absolutely.
Like a placebo effect sort of thing, potentially.
I guess you could say a placebo effect, but actually no.
But it's about a belief thing then. I believe that I'm going to get better at this, or I believe, so therefore it has a mental position.
Yeah, just for context, of course, when I do intuitive business training in corporates with groups or individuals, we don't need to train them into contacting their past loved ones unless they want, but I work with top directors at firms and CEO, and they are interested in this. But yes, I guess we have all the ability to have information we have no idea that it comes from. Like the writer or the painter who got like this haha moment of inspiration. This is what we call intuition or psychic abilities. The difference between intuition and psychic abilities is psychic abilities, you have visions, you have hearing, so it's much more visual and concrete, I'd say. But yes, people often dismiss their intuition. That's the role of the psychic coach, is to say, okay, the intuition you got is right. And fluffy rabbits, when we think about it, are super useful for the top entrepreneurs. Richard Branson, Elon Musk, they are known to have the intuition of like eagle eyes. They're going to spot the thing. They're going to read their employees. So intuition, it is in a way to be able to read the person better, to be like, okay, what do I feel with Richard? What do I feel with Ed? Something you can't explain. You don't know the person. So it's going to help to solve conflicts in a company much, much faster. For example, when I was at Gucci, there were like some internal things to resolve. And for me, using the intuition was much faster because you connect with someone at a human level rather than processes, And whatever we say, it is, we are humans in a company. And so that's why intuition is super important.
Because there's always politics in an organization. So what you're suggesting, that being more intuitive about the way that you're all working together might get you beyond that sort of crappy politics that happens every day in every company, I think.
Yes, so you have at human level, at team levels, is going to help you to get things faster in an ethical way, of course. And then also intuition, getting some information intuitively based on like a decision you need to make. So for example, you have 3 suppliers that you have selected for your next vendor project. And okay, you have all your data on your beautiful Excel table, but then your intuition is going to tell you, okay, I don't know why, there is no way I can explain this, but I kind of know this is this one, And I help a lot of business owners create their companies from scratch. They think they're stuck, they think they have no ideas, but they will be able, again, to channel their business strategy because we have access to a superpower, like bigger information, a bit like Wi-Fi, it's just getting the information in. But because we don't see it, some people don't believe it. But look, there is Wi-Fi, we don't see it, it works. That's as simple as this.
The interesting thing that in the business world that I've experienced, you get different types of clients. Sometimes they just go along with what you told them to do because you're the consultants. But I can think of an example. You get a bunch of people, they go, we think we should do this. This should be our product strategy, or this should be the product we should launch, or this is the thing that the medicine that we should develop, or whatever. And then loads of people come at it really, really logically and argue it down. There's a lot of value, I think, with what you believe is the right thing to do without overanalyzing it. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of entrepreneurial businesses that start up and it's not a unique product and it's not a unique proposition. And you can throw that logic, look at Brewdog, for example. I mean, the Brewdog's gone down the toilet now, but when it started, we're going to reinvent beer. It's like, well, there's loads of breweries. There's lots of people already doing this. Why are you going to be successful? And that logical argument would kill any entrepreneurial business off immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ed, you were talking about being rational and strategic. For me, I'm the first one, and I was a product manager for 12 years, managing 5 teams. So I had to be rational. I had to work with logic and finance and accounting, data, etc. But I believe, why not being intuitive as well? What led me as well to this development of intuition is I saw, okay, I keep burning out, I keep running into the same problems in tech. So at some point, I have to stop doing the same thing. It's not working. And I believe aligning intuition and logic is creating a massive superpower. So that's the great thing about intuition is you feel energetically the blocks and you're like, okay, how can I create a connection here? And so at the end, everyone is happy.
I found that sometimes when you're interviewing people for a job and you can tell within 10, 15 minutes, yes, I think I could work with this person.
Yeah.
There's something there. There's a connection somehow.
Absolutely.
And that's why I get annoyed. It's a recruitment process which just go through lots of stupid standard questions. Tell me about a time when you've X, Y, Z, da, 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 da. And people will just, I mean, you can see now on LinkedIn, use AI to create the answers for interview questions. Well, what's the point of that?
Absolutely. And so that's why I feel like the role of intuition and energy are so important because, yes, we can see that with AI, we can replace a lot of things. But AI can't replace human energy, human contact. We need to exchange contact together. Even my generation or younger generation, look how depressed they are because they are not connected to themselves. They don't know what they want. They don't have this connection to, I don't want to say higher self, but you know what I mean.
I'm just staring at my phone at this point.
Yeah, exactly, Richard. As you were saying, intuition is the accumulation of experience. Yes and no, because look, Richard, who was interviewing, knew that there was something more. So this shows Richard is a psychic. You wouldn't use this word. So it's just we use different words to talk about psychic or intuition, but it is there. So it's the more we are aware of it, the more we can use these tools, and life becomes much smoother because you can follow the flow and be like, okay, I need to go there. I have no idea why, but this is the best way.
Have you had any examples where you've met people who you've been working with and you didn't feel a connection, or that they were putting up barriers, or, maybe they were too cynical for you to sort of get any connection to them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like at the moment, I'm in Paris and I'm seeing childhood friends. And yes, there are some people who are in a very different realities. And for me, I'm not like the dogmatic spiritual guru who's going to try to convert everyone to her cult. I respect people where they are. If they are curious about it, they will ask me questions, and intuitively, energetically, they will come to me with synchronicities. But yes, some people are not interested or are not yet interested. But the reality of my business is I attract people who are. So I don't really I have skeptical people, but it's more out of curiosity. It's like, how does it work? Explain to me. I need to experience this. And then when they start, it goes in the rabbit hole of the fluffy rabbit. And it is amazing.
When you're talking to an exec, do they approach you to help them, or are you sometimes asked by a company to come in and meet with execs? So now, how do you introduce this principle to those people that you work with, and how do you deal with the people that are more cynical about it?
So both, I'm approached and I am approaching. So it's more people who don't know about it. And again, I talk about how we can look at all the data for making a decision, but at the end of the day, it is intuition, it is the emotion that makes the decision, that when it feels right. And I talk about data, I talk about entrepreneurship. The fact, again, like I use intuition in my business, having 900 clients in less than 2 years is quite a good success. And yes, so some people will resonate. And also it's choosing the right words. Because I'm psychic, I can understand what is going to resonate with who. And also remembering that, if some people are not interested, it's okay. It's I don't mind rejection. For me, rejection is a redirection. So that's why, again, I'm very entrepreneurial mindset. So I think the right thing will come.
Okay.
Rejection is redirection. I like that, because it happens to me all the time.
Yes. Yes. But we love redirecting you, Richard, And also, again, because I've coached so many people, I understand that, when people are in a mood or when people are making a decision, there is no need to take things personally because you don't know the bigger picture. You don't know where people are. So it's better to kind of accept it or see if you need to insist. But I'm not someone who insists, Which spirit is it this time?
Now there's somebody at the door. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
You crack on. I'll just get the door.
Who has a bell like that for their door chime?
I love it. I'm not going to say old school. I love it.
It was Death. Again. That's the second time we've had Mr. Death on the podcast, turning up at my door.
So how do you get executives to trust intuition in their daily lives? How do you get them to take the leap?
We do some exercises, some intuitive exercises with like pausing, going inward, so closing the eyes and asking the question and receiving the answer. And it is about practice. I take them through different intuitive exercises, and then I give them feedbacks. And the incredible thing is, even at the beginning, they have around 70 to 75% of accuracy. And so then it is more a way to build their confidence by practice. again, everyone who comes to me, they have the same phrase. They tell me, I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I'm lost. I'm in life transition. I don't know what I want. But this exercise that seems simple are really powerful. And it is through practice that they see that their problems are not problems, and they find the solution very quickly. So that's why, I work with like head of finances, CEO, again, billionaires. I have the pop star who come to me for her to download her music strategy. So it is something really specific.
Who is it? Who's the pop star?
I can't tell you. No.
It's Taylor Swift. You heard it here first, folks. Taylor Swift.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's not new. A lot of politicians go to psychic mediums for their strategy, but they're not going to say it in the open. So I was like, why not educate people to have intuition in business? Because again, it will create better environment. How many companies have toxic environments? So we need this in businesses for saving money, for better relationship between employees, and better decision making as well.
I think that the French government, who are on about their fifth prime minister, and also the British government, I think they could both do with a little bit of this.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And yes, and that shows like the disconnection between people, the disconnection of what they want, the clashes. So I really believe, I see more and more people waking up to their intuition. So I really believe it is an awakening. More and more people, especially men in the corporate world, come to me and be like, I don't even know why I'm here, but I feel like you can help me. And I think, before, again, how society educated us, it was like, okay, you stay in the same job all your life, you don't question it, you have to be a doctor, you have to work in tech, you have to be a lawyer. But now people, especially after COVID, are starting to ask themselves questions. Or after the death of a loved one or a big disease, they are like, okay, I need to look at something differently. How do I really want to live my life? What is really important to me? And so that's why connecting to your purpose, really your intuition, what you really want to do, one is bringing you more happiness and more alignment, and it benefits you and the people around, like Richard.
Yeah.
So one of the other things that you talk about in your blurb is energy management, improving leadership performance and preventing burnout. So can you give us some examples where you've had people coming to you with burnout, and what's the problem, and how do you help those sort of people?
So, for example, last year I did some Reiki workshops at Meta Facebook. And you see like more and more in companies, like they introduce yoga, meditation, breath work. I really believe Reiki is really the other level, because with Reiki, which is not a massage, it's like, it looks strange from an external perspective. You put your hands on the chakras, which are the energy centers, and you feel the energy, and in a few seconds you are really rejuvenated. And it works also online, because online we are all part of the same energetic system. I know, it's weird.
Let's do it now.
I mean, I'm happy to do it, but might be, we need to be calm, so it's going to be in silence, but happy to do it anytime for you, Richard. Ed was too afraid.
Yeah, I was afraid.
He was afraid that I will steal his soul. But yes.
Don't worry, it's already been taken.
Oh, no.
He sold it about 25 years ago to that bloke with the Louis Cypher bloke.
Yeah.
Yes, and so Reiki is in a few minutes you get most of your energy back, and there is no energy transfer. You can have therapy and have Reiki. So again, it is very common in the East, less in the West. It's coming back. And burnout, you see, is like an epidemic. Everyone is losing so much money with it. So it's not with like the Friday evening pizza parties that you're going to sort out your burnout problems in your company, right? I mean, they tried like this, but...
When I was at a large chocolate manufacturer, we had a bunch of consultants in from A.T. Kearney, and that's what they did every night, 8:00. Look, it's 8 p.m. and we're all still in the office. Let's get a pizza, as if that's going to solve anything. Yeah. I mean, geez.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we know full well that getting smashed on alcohol solves all the problems.
Well, that does, yes.
Yes, exactly. So when you work in big consultancies, that's what happens. Every now and then they have a big night out or a big event, and everybody goes along and gets absolutely smashed.
Yeah, absolutely. And for big companies I worked with, it was a lot of like goodies and, but at the end of the day, it doesn't sort out the root problem. The root problem is people who are at work are bringing their traumas, and often like the relationship with the boss, it is kind of a new play of the relationship with your mom, so it's going to be,
Yeah.
it is complex. It is complex. And that's why like working with energy and intuition is important, because if your employee is treating you like a dad, it's not rational that is going to help this. So when you work on your energy, things like procrastination disappear, because procrastination from a chakra perspective is the solar plexus. So people believe in acupuncture, or some people, or feng shui, etc. Yeah, so Reiki is the same, but with a different way of administrating it. So more and more companies are opening to Reiki when they know, and they save so much money because their employees are happier, less tired, more focused, more productive, etc.
Let's do 10 minutes of Reiki now, can we?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, absolutely.
Let's give it a try. I need some positive energy.
So let me explain a bit how it works. So from the camera, it looks weird. I'll be with my hands like this, and I'll do some signs, and I will send the energy to you. For you, you just need to close your eyes. You have nothing to do. In any way, it works. But some people feel some warmth, some people feel some energy, some people feel some relaxation, some people don't feel anything, but it's good to experience it. And it works at all level: emotional, physical, spiritual, etc. Okay, cool. So guys, you have nothing to do, so close your eyes. And I'll just be silent, or I can do 5 minutes. And yeah, and nothing's going to happen.
A few moments later.
Going back to your body. And you can open your eyes. So how was your experience? And every experience is okay. Each experience is individual. Do you want to start, Richard?
I used to do a bit of yoga, the whole relaxation bit at the end, because you're just thinking about your own breathing. And I think it just helps relaxation generally, doesn't it? So that's the sort of feeling I got there.
Yeah.
Just concentrating on nothing is good, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, for example, in tech, I was hyper-thinking, and again, we just had 2 minutes. Normally it's like 30 minutes or 1 hour. It really helps you to go deep very quickly, or at least for me and quite a few. But yeah, it is different. And what about you, Ed? How was your experience?
Yeah, I think like Richard, helps you relax, and like between my shoulder blades felt warm.
Yes. So some people feel warm, some people have visions, some people have like the energy moving. It's good that you experience it online. And if you have someone around who can do it on you in person, you will see like the hands are super, super warm. When I started, I was like, oh my God, this is so weird.
Sorry, I had it on Do Not Disturb, and it still rang. It's so annoying.
You've ruined my chakra, you have.
Yeah.
It's somebody trying to contact you from
The afterlife.
exchanging.
Yeah. They managed to pass through.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption.
No, not at all. And sometimes you feel a bit spaced out or tired a little bit after. So it's normal because the energy has moved. So just drink some water. Again, it was just 2 minutes. But yeah, when I started receiving Reiki, it was just relaxing, and then I started to have vision, and it's just like very different experiences.
What sort of visions did you get, Aude?
It is like it can be like random visions, or like some visions. I know it's going to be weird for you, but like visions more like of higher beings, what we can call angels. And so some people are like, oh my God. But that's the thing, is we have different realities, and science is starting to understand it. And so in this reality, some people who are not really open to psychic abilities, they can't perceive much. But then the more you get open, the more you perceive. but it doesn't mean that you are overwhelmed. So we were talking about like haunted houses or like a feeling of people who pass. Yes, we are surrounded with these beings, but it doesn't mean this is bad. It is what it is. It's like a radio station.
Yeah.
Ed gets the same feeling from eating the mushrooms in the field next door to him.
Well, that's the thing, is where people take psychedelics and they can see much
Yeah.
faster. But we don't need to take psychedelics. I mean, if you want, no worries. But we don't need that to have these increased abilities.
Well, anyway, listener, I hope if you were tuning into that, let us know if you had a warm feeling.
Yeah.
I know you get a warm feeling listening to our podcast anyway, but hey.
I have a friend who's PhD physicist, and she's gone from that world, very, very scientifically based. And I imagine that Aude is the same. And this lady's now moved into Reiki also. You always think, don't you? You think somebody who's highly scientific will be a bit different, that wouldn't move into that space, but clearly that's not true.
Fluffy land. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of pink bunnies.
Yes. I have one of the top former NHS person, and she was saying that the pharmaceutical industry had a lot of limitations. It's also, there is a lot of money behind it, of course, profit driven. But when you think about it, there are ways where we can work with energy and make it even efficient. So why don't we combine science and like energy? There are more and more pharmaceutical industries who go to South America to meet with shaman and the tribes, etc., to understand how they work with plants. And when you listen to these tribes, they say the plants told me. So it looks like, oh my God, okay, fluffy land again. But it is like the ability to read the energy of the plants that will give us knowledge. We think about hard drive, Wi-Fi, etc. That's the same thing. It is not that far.
I think the only thing I say, even for the cynical ones amongst us like me and Rich, I think we can all cite examples of things that have happened where you think, what is the basis for that? You said earlier about whether you've had anything, when you were younger. I used to be, when I was at junior school, I used to think that I could sort of leave my body and look down on the classroom.
It's mushrooms again.
Yeah.
What was that? Was I just daydreaming, or was there something in that?
Yes, this is called astral projection, and a lot of people can train. I had events in my life where I was able to move objects, move water, so telekinesis. So basically, everything you see in the superheroes movie, we are able to do it. It just means training. And with technology, we became a bit lazy. And that's a shame, because when you think about it, we can be like the Kung Fu Panda, but we're going to let technology take care of it. We should have both, especially to have, we need to keep our power with the rise of AI, because otherwise it's not going to end very well.
On that bombshell.
One last question.
Go on then.
Any suggestions for reading online material, that type of thing that people might look at to further their understanding?
Yes. So on my website, www.audefirmin.com, there is a lot about Reiki, psychic abilities. But if you type on YouTube, there is a lot about psychic mediumship. If they visit also the College of Psychic Studies, there are like classes, courses. But there is a lot of knowledge out there.
I think in terms of contacting you, you've just mentioned your website. So to repeat, www.audefirmin.com, LinkedIn, Aude Firmin, and then you have an Instagram account.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Aude. That's been great. And we've got a new buzz phrase. Rejection is redirection.
Yes.
Astral projection, telekinesis, Kung Fu Panda, chakra, Oogway ascends.
Yes.
That's what I say. And fluffy white rabbits.
Yes.
We've learnt it all today. So this will go out in about a month's time. But you knew that anyway.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me in your podcast. It was really fun, very interesting. And Richard, it was a pleasure.
Great stuff. On that bombshell, we shall say goodbye and see you all next time.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Super. I was just thinking about the whole AI stuff, and we ridicule people a bit for saying within 5 years, within 10 years, AI will be doing everything, blah 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 blah. Well, we've been making this podcast for over 2 years now.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Dear listener, has AI entered your life particularly, or is it you've just got ChatGPT on your phone?
I've got a brilliant picture of you as a cat.
So in your job, dear listener, to what extent in the last 2 years has AI changed your business? Because all those people saying about 10 years, we're 2 years in now, we've got 8 years to go. Episode 2, we talked about AI
Yeah.
and the Terminator analogy and setting fire to the sky and all that. And also, you know, what's his name? The guy who invented the internet. He's not worried about the threat of AI. He doesn't think we're conscious.
It's just algorithms. It's not intelligence.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. And he's saying it's sort of, I think it's just quite mechanistic the way it's working. Here's to keep you amused.
Yes, that's what your job is.
Amusing Rich.
Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back.